Ready?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Heyo, welcome back, everybody.
Can we start that over? No. I'll just. Well, it's gone. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Heyo, welcome back, everybody, to the Fast Break with Taylor and Jake. And as always, my name's Taylor Harper, and Jake is on my left/right. You guys can put that into perspective, whatever the heck you want.
When you watch, or left, if you watched on the video, left side.
Left side, so it is correct. Great. We're here with another installment of the Fast Break. We've got about a week and a half to talk about. We've got some stuff to talk about. We've got some players who are shining. We've got some players who are injured again. We've got some end-of-season things to talk about, Jake. Things that are finally starting to wrap up, and we can finally put into perspective.
Every game has a meaning, and I love this time of the year. I love when every single game has a meaning. I don't know. This really isn't very helpful, but the point I'm trying to make is, you'll see. I want to say it's like one of our local, like KSL Sports or something. They have a writer who every game, and every NBA game for the day, he says, here's what this game means playoff-wise. So Jazz versus Golden State yesterday.
Right.
He's, if the Jazz need 3 of their next 4 wins to guarantee first place in the West. So that's just kind of what he does. He says it's their last away game against a playoff or play-in team. But the point I'm trying to make is we're at the point where every game means something. Like, for example, like I think the Grizzlies won yesterday. So the Warriors, they came out swinging in the second half because I'm sure at halftime they went in there. Steve Kerr says, hey, Grizzlies just won. If we got to, stay in this play-in or stay above, I think they're above the Grizzlies. If we want to stay above the Grizzlies, we have to come out swinging in the second half. Totally changes how you play.
Right.
So, anyways, it's really awesome. So, as Taylor mentioned, though, there are some injuries and stuff like that. LeBron James is he's still injured. So
he came back.
He came back for like a game and a half. I didn't really pay much attention, but apparently he looked a little sluggish, I guess. A little, not, kind of like a shell of himself. So we'll see what he does. I hear he's kind of phasing himself back into practice. So he's been practicing with the team, and I wonder how those are going.
I just have something to say about that. So, Jake, it really is really frustrating to me when I get notifications of players who have not had, let me put this way, players who are not recovering from a season-ending injury. I'll always get that notification. I'll probably get it in a few months for Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson has started to participate in 5-on-5 scrimmages or full contact practices. We got LeBron James, who was out. How long was he out? 2 months?
He's been out about 2 months.
He's been out about 2 months. Came back, new injury, and he's out for like 4 days. And I get a notification. LeBron James is participating in practice. I mean, we're talking about practice, Jake. We ain't even talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice, not the game, not the game that he goes out and dies for, okay? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about, I know he's supposed to be the franchise player, and it's good for him to come back and start practicing, but we're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice, not the game, okay? Not the game. We're talking about practice.
He's just shoving it aside.
I mean, you've seen him. Have you ever seen him live?
Yeah, I've one time.
You go and you can see that he gives it 100%, right? In the game. But we're talking about practice, man.
But don't you think he'll make his teammates better if he comes back to practice? The Lakers haven't been good without him.
How the hell is he supposed to make his teammates better by practicing? I mean, it's ridiculous. Shout out to Allen Iverson on that one. But
that was probably the best thing we've ever done.
That was the best thing we've ever done on this podcast.
Absolutely, 10 for 10. So anyways, yeah, LeBron's hurt. he stays hurt. And do you think he's like, just like, I don't want to come back and re-aggravate it for 5 games left in the regular season? Do you think he calls Anthony Davis and he's like, let's phone call. All right. Hey, AD.
What's up, man?
What is going on with the Lakers?
Well,
Why are you getting on playing Grand Theft Auto every night when my Lakers have lost 7 of their last 10? We about to be in the play-in.
Sorry, bro, but without me, this team sucks. So I figured I'd play one good game out of the week, drop maybe like 40 points or something, and then the rest I might just maybe not even play or even show up.
Well, why are you falling backwards into the scoreboard, tweaking your ankle? Then you sit out for the game for back spasms.
You gotta make a show, man. I mean, we're entertainers, aren't we?
Hey, we about to be in the play-in. Someone needs to lose their job over this. Remember how a year ago I thought it was a great idea, and now we're in it, and I don't like it?
Yeah.
You need to get us out of this play-in game. I'm not coming back. 18 years. I've been doing this 18 years.
You need someone to pull up your pants and get your butt on the court, LeBron.
You're traded. That's how I feel like it's got to go, because
right.
LeBron has got to be so pissed off that when he plays, they're about third, fourth seed pretty much throughout the year, and
he's 36, 37 years old.
Yeah, they're not too worried about getting that third seed, or I guess the first and second seed. They're like, as long as we're in the playoffs, avoid that play-in. But ever since he's been out, they just.
And I don't know if he's trying to do this. I don't think he is, but I could.
Trying to what?
I could technically see this.
Get a better draft pick?
Trying to be the best team to win an NBA championship. Possibly an 8th seed to win the NBA championship. He's going to be all glorified and bowed down if they just barely slide into the playoffs. Boom, 1st seed. Boom, 4th seed. Boom, 2nd seed. We're the champions of the world. Because that's not how it's going to be. They're not a true 8th seed. But I don't know if he's trying to do that. I don't think he does. But I'm just trying to think.
Because then you lose home court throughout the playoffs. You've got to play in a play-in game.
Right.
That you have 2 bad games and you're out.
Right.
That would look horrible for him. So I wouldn't think so. But I think he just realized he's like, hey, we're going to be in 6 through 8 anyways. Rather than just maybe come back a little earlier than I want to, I can just rest my ankle and come back.
Okay, let's say
a hair later than
Jake,
usual.
Let's say. Maybe we've already talked about this. I can't remember. Most of the stuff you say just goes in one ear, not the other anyway. But let's say Lakers do not make the playoffs. Let's say they get matched up with Portland, and Portland beats them in the play-in. Who's winning it? Because let me take a step back. I'm not a very firm believer in the Lakers anymore, even with AD and LeBron. I'm just not. I think Clippers could beat them. I think Clippers are the hot team right now in the West. But let's just say,
are they that hot though? I don't.
Doing pretty good. Right now, even with Jamal Murray, I think I'd pick Denver over Lakers. I mean, I don't know, but what I'm trying to say, let's say Lakers don't even make the playoffs. Who you win? Who's winning?
Well,
because everyone wants to put Lakers as the fan favorite to win it because it's LeBron and AD.
I think the next favorite would be, due to just name power, is the Nets. But here's the thing. They are so bad defensively.
Right.
And the big three have played 7 games together max. Right. And I don't know how much the time they each spend on the court together. So it just makes you wonder, all the, the core principles of good basketball, defense, chemistry, playing hard, playing for your team, grinding throughout the year, doing what, the 04 Pistons were.
Right.
The 2011 Mavericks, even the Raptors a year ago. It just kind of would make me sad if a team that plays 0 defense, has 0, experience playing together, if you can just buy your way to a finals, man. Because it's just not like that. I don't know. For example, you see these teams that build for so long, and then you see them come up and you win a championship, and like what the Warriors did, honestly.
Right.
Like, yeah, they did get Kevin Durant to just put them over the top even more than they already were. But when you can go through the hard process and you're a team and you like just do so much and you just build like this, it's just a big beautiful picture.
Right.
You know? And I would just hate to see the Nets be able to just cakewalk their way to a championship because they stacked a team with superstars.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't mean as much, you know?
Right.
So, but teams that win championships are good defensively.
For sure.
Teams that win championships do the nitty-gritty things. Like, the Lakers last year did the nitty-gritty things.
Right.
I mean, they had bigs who they played defense.
Right.
That's what the Warriors did. That's what the Spurs did. That's what the Heat did. So I just don't... I'm not as confident in the Nets just based off principle than I was maybe a month ago.
That's
So,
fair.
to really answer your question, I'd go probably 50% Nets. Just because, again, just the names. There's so many big names. Other than that, I have some confidence. I think Milwaukee could be good this year. I think maybe this is the year they break through. Possibly the Jazz, maybe. And the Clippers. Those would be my contending teams. Yeah. I'm with you, though. I just don't know about the Lakers. I mean, you throw out AD and LeBron and Drummond and Harrell. Like, that's a pretty good team.
It's a great team. But I just look at...
But is it a team?
Right.
They don't have much experience playing together, especially without LeBron. It seems like Montrezl Harrell or Wesley Matthews, for whatever reason, they're getting DNPs, coach's decision. Like, they're just not playing these guys. And I'm like, look, what are you doing, Frank Vogel? Like, why is, like...
You need to win these games.
You need to establish, like, I don't know, your roster. Like, Montrezl Harrell, the sixth man of the year, just doesn't play in games. Like, are you figuring it out? Are you figuring out how they're going to play together? Because you can't be doing that with, 2 weeks, 1 week left in the regular season?
Well, I don't think it's even that. I mean, I think it's the fact that, like, let's say when Donovan Mitchell comes back, I would be very surprised. Well, I don't know. To me, I would maybe play Donovan Mitchell maybe one more game this season, and then rest him for the rest. Just because to get his fill back,
right? To get his feet under him.
And then Jazz don't really have anything to lose. I guess the first seed they could still lose the first seed.
But the only instance that matters where they don't get home court advantage is if they get to the Western Conference Finals and they play the
Phoenix.
Suns.
Right, which is, I'm gonna say it, not gonna happen.
And one more game at Phoenix versus 3 in Salt Lake City, I don't think is a big deal because you get one win in Phoenix, which is entirely possible.
Right.
You switch home court.
Right.
So I'm really kind of sick and tired of like Jazz fans being so concerned about the 1 seed. Like, I know it's cool, like we have the best record in the league, but you know what? So did Milwaukee last year, and nobody remembers. Nobody cares.
So whereas Lakers, they're gonna kind of need to win every single game from here on out.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
they just need to get it back together. Yeah. They're discombobbled.
Discombobulated, folks. All right.
The Jazz aren't discombobbled.
No. If you got Bojan Bogdanovic, who can drop 48 points in a game, I think you're doing all right. Jeez. I hate that so much.
Jordan Clarkson had 41 yesterday.
41 last night.
I know he took like 33 shots, but hey, I mean, he had 24
in the fourth
quarter. No one else had it going. He single-handedly brought them back in the game. So if I hear any Jordan Clarkson slander, if I hear ever like any Jordan Clarkson slander from a Jazz fan, I just want to punch him in the face. Because I know he's not like, the Matt Harpring style Utah Jazz player or the
clean cut, comb over, swoop, tie up.
Right. I mean, yeah, he's a little different than like the typical Jazz
Utah
mold, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know what was the worst last year, Taylor? Was trying to watch the Jazz get a single ounce of offensive production off the bench.
Yeah.
They went from They went from 0 offensive production off the bench to having the 6th man of the year. So who cares if he takes 20 shots a game, if he takes 9
If,
threes.
if other teammates' shots aren't falling, shoot. And I'm sure that's what Quinn told him.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn is not
Exactly.
a stupid coach. I'm sorry, guys. He's not a stupid coach.
They would have had this conversation a long time ago
Yep.
if Jordan Clarkson. They wouldn't have brought him in if they said, you know what, we know who Jordan Clarkson is, but we're gonna change the way he plays basketball. He's gonna take 7 shots off the court. We're gonna put him in here for defense, and he's gonna run the pick and roll. No.
Right.
He's gonna go 1-on-1. He's gonna put up a few transition threes. He's gonna take some contested shots. But guess what? He's gonna make a pretty good amount of shots.
There's a reason.
He's pretty efficient.
There's a reason coaches like Steve Kerr says to Stephen Curry, I'm okay with you dribbling down the court and shooting it just inside the half-court line. What coach says that? Well, I'll tell you what, Steve Kerr does, because he knows what Steph can do.
Exactly.
Quinn Snyder knows what Jordan Clarkson can do. He's more than capable of scoring the basketball, more than capable of taking over a game. Not an elite all-star level, but 41 points, 24 in the fourth. I'd say that's taken over the game.
Yes. Quinn Snyder, again, who would have had this conversation a long time ago with Jordan Clarkson if he wasn't playing the way he wanted.
Right.
Right.
And speaking of coaches, I think it's going to be very sad. I'm going to say something. I don't think Quinn's going to win Coach of the Year this year.
Who do you think will?
I think the Phoenix Suns coach will. Just because of Utah's
Very
always
possible.
been in the playoffs the past few years. Phoenix has not made it for 11 seasons.
11.
So that would be my thing, which kind of it's just kind of sad because I don't know if Utah's going to be this good again for a while unless they get another star.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn deserved it. I think he was in the race 3 years ago. He didn't win, but
I think he could. I think it could go.
he totally
either way.
could.
I wouldn't be upset if it goes either way, to
Right.
be honest with you.
I think it should be Stan Van Gundy.
Oh yeah,
I love that man.
Stan. Yeah, I would. If I had a media vote, and truly, like, if you're going to be voting on these things, you have to be as unbiased as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So really, taking my Jazz fandom out of it, I really would go Quinn Snyder. I wouldn't go. You know, I'm a huge Heat fan, but I wouldn't go Eric Spoelstra. Not this year, maybe last year, but I wouldn't go Eric Spoelstra this year. So truly, I think Quinn Snyder has been the best coach this year. So yeah, no, that's. I hope he gets it. I don't know if there's any sort of. I know when players get awards and first teams and stuff, it helps them get a bigger contract.
Right.
So I don't know if Quinn Snyder, if they'd like restructure a deal, like, hey, we got to coach the year, we got to pay this man because he deserves it. He's been tremendous and he seems. I really like Quinn Snyder. I think he's a heck of a coach.
He's a great coach.
I think he's a super good guy. His players love him. Like Donovan Mitchell loves Coach Snyder.
He's not a former player, and I'm not against.
He did play at Duke, and he was good at Duke.
Well, right. But I'm not against former players becoming coaches. But there's just something about people who aren't players, who are coaches. I think they're just a little bit more smarter.
I think they've had to think the game through a little bit more. Because think about it. Like
Tyrone Corbin. Let's take a look at him. What a terrible coach he was. Tyronn Lue. I don't know why teams keep calling him. He was a terrible coach.
I think a lot of the players. I think his players like him. I think that's why LeBron wanted him in Cleveland. I think he liked him.
It's super annoying.
Yeah. So I think not that NBA players don't understand the game because they've obviously most of them have forgotten more about the game than I'll ever know. But to get yourself to a coaching spot in the NBA without having NBA experience and having the NBA name, you got to know your stuff. Like Brad Stevens, like he looks like he's a chess player. He looks like he's a professional bowler, you know. But I think he's a pretty dang good coach.
I'd say so.
Is Luke Walton really like?
Right. Are you a good coach? No, you're terrible. Let's talk about a little bit of history that's been made over the past few weeks.
Yeah, we got it.
And I'm just throwing this out there. I have no idea if this is legitimately true, but it sounds pretty good to me. So, did Bradley Beal ever score 60 points? I know he was very close. I know he was very close this year, and they took him out or something like that. I think he might have.
I don't remember a 60 piece, but maybe. We've got technology. We're not kidding.
We do have technology.
Have technology.
We have technology.
Look it up. See if we can find it. Are you just wondering if he scored 60 points?
60, yes.
He did? Okay.
So we've had 3 players this season, I believe 3, who've scored 60 points. And Stephen Curry, who's almost done it twice. Bradley Beal, and my boy Jason Tatum. Would you say this is the most talented the NBA has ever been?
Absolutely not.
How so?
I think the NBA is so favored for offensive players to score.
That's very
Actually,
fair.
no, I'm not gonna lie. I think I do. I do.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm totally kidding.
I'm just trying to think of like.
I think the NBA. I mean, they've changed the rules, so.
Right.
I mean, you know, if Luka, did you see how he kind of?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Luka gave Colin Sexton a nice shot where you don't want to give.
Right, and his Sexton.
Where you don't want to give someone a shot, and he got ejected, and I was thinking, like, if he's mad, like, what if he just turns around, scores up, and just punches him in the face?
Right.
He's ejected. He's gone for 20 games.
Right.
I mean, I think in the 90s, like, you probably get ejected, but I don't know if you get a suspension or not.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is, I think the NBA, obviously it's softer than it used to be. They don't allow the players to play quite as much as they used to. So players are going to get, more free throws than they used to, for sure. But I think the NBA, I think they're so skilled. I think shooting is such a big, focal point. Like, when I watched The Last Dance, I'm like, why does Michael Jordan keep shooting mid-range shots? Like, the players, they just don't shoot those anymore. Like, you shoot a 3 because it's worth more than 2. So I think a lot more threes are made. I think the game is faster paced because of the 3-point shot. There's a lot more quicker possessions, so there's more possessions back and forth each game. So, but yeah, I mean, what Trey Young last year averaged like 30 and 10, right? I mean, a couple years ago, those are MVP numbers, and now, like, I don't think he was even mentioned in the MVP, probably just because of his team's record. But absolutely, I'd say, I mean, teams score more than they used to.
Because I'm just trying to think about top 5 shooting guards. Okay.
All time or right now?
Top 10 all time.
Okay.
Obviously, Michael Jordan's averaged 30 points for a season.
Career.
Obviously has.
He averaged 30 for a career.
Right. Did Wade ever average 30 for a season?
I believe he did.
I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry West did. But I'm looking, Bradley Beal is averaging 30 points for a season. But he is never, ever, ever going to be a top, 10 shooting guard of all time.
I don't know who the top 10 list is. Would you say Klay Thompson is?
Right now? No.
Who just throw out the names? Who do you think is above him? Is Allen Iverson, is he a shooting guard?
He's classified as a shooting guard, yes.
Okay.
So I actually looked at the list today. It was Michael, Kobe, Wade, AI, West, James Harden, I think was 5th.
Yeah.
Number 9
Even
was
though
Ray
he's
Allen.
really more of a point guard.
Right. Ray Allen was number 9.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
George Gervin.
yeah, I think he was 10.
Is he a small forward or is he a shooting
I
guard?
thought he was small forward, but I think he was 10 on the list. I'm okay, whatever. But I'm just trying to think about how talented we've got. 6 guys who are more than capable of scoring 30 points or averaging 30 points for a season. I think that's crazy. I mean, tell me the last time a point guard averaged 30 points a game. In Stephen Curry. I mean, and Lillard and Luka. Those are 3 point guards who are averaging basically 30.
James Harden, if he's playing. Actually, he's just taking less shots this year. He really, I think, tried to focus on being a distributor. But we know he can average 36.
He averaged 36 last year.
For 2 years in a row.
I mean,
practically.
That's pretty
That's ridiculous. Let's not forget how good James Harden is just because he's injured.
And let's not forget about how good this player is, Jake.
Luka?
No. One name. 2 words. 4
Russell.
syllables. Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Okay. I think we all need to tip our hat. I think we need to give a round of applause.
I've never won
to Russell Westbrook. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
182 and counting. Not 5 more. This is not his last season. He barely cracked it.
He'll crack 200.
He's gonna. I would say 250. I mean,
maybe.
It's just ridiculous how good he is. And guys,
he's averaged a triple double over the last 410 games. Somewhere
Since
around
2015 was the last time he did not average a triple-double.
Well, last year he didn't. Just
Well, I mean, like cumulative, like
right.
The games from 2015 to now is a triple-double.
Like his first triple-double to now is about 400 over 400 games.
I mean,
the crazy thing is he can do it on command.
Right.
So I've talked about this before, but so the rapper Nipsey Hussle, who I never listened to, I don't know anything about him, but anyway, so he was from LA, which is where he's from. Like I believe the same area in Los Angeles that Russell Westbrook is from. There's some sort of significance of the number 60, like 60th Street, something like that, 60th block, whatever. So Russell Westbrook goes out there and he goes, I can't remember the exact numbers, 20, 20, and 20.
Right.
The day or the next day that his friend Nipsey Hussle died, to get to the cumulative 60. He probably could have scored 60 points if he wanted to.
Right.
But he did 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. It was a few over in each category, but anyways, and then after the game, they're like, Russell Westbrook, you just went 20, 20, 20. He's like, yep, that was for my friend Nipsey Hussle.
I mean, guys, you can badmouth his shooting all you want. But I will say he has definitely taken a step back with his shooting this year and his focus. He is, to me, this is the greatest he's ever been. He doesn't look more careless. He always gives 110%, but he's not careless with the ball right now. Whereas in Oklahoma City,
he's been a little bit in the past. Yeah,
he was just bouncing off the walls.
I think he's maybe declined a little bit in athleticism, or he realized that maybe he just doesn't have the same endurance. Because I mean, Russell Westbrook like 5 years ago was as fit as any human being could be.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if I go there, but incredibly conditioned and really fast, explosive, and just he has that mental toughness, that mental edge, where he's gonna keep that energy 100 foot all the way down on the gas from start to finish, and that's one of the reasons I love Russell Westbrook. But yeah, for sure. I mean, congratulations to him for setting a record that is going to stand for a very long time. I wouldn't say it's unbeatable, but I mean, Oscars stood for 60 years. Who knows, maybe Jokic or Doncic. I'd say one of those two would be the most likely that's currently playing to break that record, but I don't know. So I think they started to get him earlier on.
Right.
Because
but I can't see him.
Like
I can't see Jokic or Luka getting 42 in the season.
Right.
That's
like
that
doing
season,
this into their 30s.
I mean, that was nuts. So Oscar played.
Luka might challenge him. I don't think Jokic will.
I don't think anyone will. I think Russ Westbrook's gonna. Russell Westbrook as of right now has already played one less season than Oscar Robertson. Mm-hmm. So he's just gonna complete.
I wonder how long Oscar's seasons were.
Right. I think they were 82. No, they weren't 82. They were not 82.
I think Russell Westbrook, though, one of the things that's different about him is if he's close, he usually gets it. Right. And I don't know if he's paying attention to make sure he gets a triple-double.
I think last night he was.
I think so.
Last night for sure he was.
There's games that I'm sure he does. But a lot of players will get to 20, 11, and 9 or 9 and 8. Like they'll get close, but they just don't quite crack it. But Russell Westbrook, he never seems to be close. He always seems to get it. So that's another reason that I think he'll hold this record for a long time. If not another, who knows, maybe 60 years.
Well, here's the thing. Where am I going? I have no idea what I was going to say.
I'll say I've never 180'd on a player like I have with Russell Westbrook. Like a couple of years ago, I was like, don't like him, don't care for him. Now I'm on the verge of ordering a DHgate Russell Westbrook jersey.
He has, to me, become a lot more likable this year, too.
If you like true basketball, or I guess like the attitude that is in old basketball, you can't not like Russell Westbrook. Because a lot of players players nowadays, they're soft, they're divas, they don't want to work hard, they're not leaders, they're not mentally tough, they're not physically tough. Russell Westbrook, he checks every single one of those boxes.
Except for, he might be a little bit of a diva.
I don't know, man.
His fashion trend.
Okay, fair
No,
enough.
I'm just kidding.
He's. I guess that's his biggest knock is he dresses a little funny sometimes. He wears like ripped up clothes and anyway, whatever. It's his thing.
Be you.
But I mean, no teammates ever have anything bad to say about him.
Right.
I mean, him and Kevin Durant, they butt heads, and Kevin Durant still, I mean, he doesn't even say anything bad about him.
Well, and even if he does, I think he's making it up because, like Jake said, he's never said it before. So if they're butting heads, he's, you're this and this and that. I'm like, well, you're just trying to make yourself sound cool, which we all know Kevin Durant is not cool. I think I remember what I was going to say. Is you said that whenever he gets a triple-double, he doesn't just get 10-10-10. He doesn't barely get the triple-double. He's averaging 22 points, which is not bad. It's lower than his career, but okay, cool. 11 rebounds. I'm trying to get the last time a point guard. I'm sorry, Luka Doncic. You're 6'6". Move over to the shooting guard because you're not a stinking point. Move over. You're not a stinking point guard. Okay. Average 11 rebounds. Like a point guard.
Did Magic ever do it? And he was 6'8", too.
Yeah, 6'8", 6'9".
Okay, I really want to know if anyone Russell Westbrook's height has ever averaged the same amount of rebounds.
11.
I can't even think of anyone who's 6'4", who's been like a tremendous rebounder. Right. Rodman wasn't insanely tall. He was like what, 6'8", 6'9", and he was an incredibly good rebounder. I'm gonna look it up. Like I just want to search best rebounding
short players.
Point. We'll look up point.
Oh, there you go.
Jason Kidd, I guess.
Right, and I know when he was on Boston, Rondo was good, but he never averaged more than like 5. But
yeah, best.
Yeah, look at that, Rajon Rondo, number 3.
Yeah.
Called it.
No, it's not gonna be it.
Yeah, I mean. And even if there's even one comparable, it's not comparable because he's just blowing the competition out.
It's true. It's like Jokic as a big man passer.
Right.
Like, is there ever like a more tricky passer at that height?
Right. And like we know, I don't know about you if you did, but I know Wilt Chamberlain led the league in assists as a center. But we've got no highlights of that. We've got no recollection. We've got no recollection of that, and it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. But Jokic, that's what you know him as. Mm-hmm. I mean. We've got Joakim Noah was a great big man passer, averaged about 4 or 5. I mean,
Magic is probably the best. If
tall,
he's tall. He's like what, 6'9"?
Yeah, he was tall. He's like Ben Simmons, maybe a little smaller than Ben, but
yeah.
And Ben, move over. You're not a point guard. Get out of here.
He just dribbles the ball down the court and
passes.
He doesn't even initiate an offense.
He's not a good player.
That's what I don't like about Ben Simmons is everyone's like, oh, he's such a good passer. He's going to be like the next LeBron James. I'm like, I think he's a good passer, but I don't even put him in the same realm as LeBron James passing wise. Like you never see like these wow passes like that one where it was LeBron's final year in Cleveland. They're playing at the Lakers, and he's palming the ball. He just draws the defense over. One hand, just a little
Zubac.
Yeah, Zubac. I mean, that was a nice little pass. Like, does Ben Simmons ever? Not that I know of.
I can't remember him even.
LaMelo is a better passer.
Oh, easy. But yeah, congratulations, Russell Westbrook. I'm excited to see how many he can actually get because that's a nuts
He'll break
number.
200.
Oh yeah.
He'll shatter 200, I'm sure.
So he's gonna break 200. There's gonna be a lot of records broken. Well. I guess him breaking 200 won't be a record because he's already broken the record. But there's going to be a lot of achievements next year in the sense of Stephen Curry, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't get an injury, will break Ray Allen's record for the all-time three-pointers made in the season, or in a career. He's going to break that next year. Russell Westbrook.
He's gonna obliterate that record.
He's already at like 325 right now for this season. I'm like, Stephen Curry is...
That's crazy, man. He's ridiculous.
Steph's going to Steph.
James Harden also. He's just below.
But he's not a good 3-point shooter to me. I'm sorry.
Is he volume? You think he's volume?
I do.
I mean, come on, you got to be a good shooter to get up to 4th.
I don't think you do.
Taylor.
You take a look.
He's a good shooter. He's good.
He's good.
He's a volume shooter.
He's the kind of guy to me that if you put him in a shootout, let's look at Kyle Korver is what? 5th, 4th, 3rd?
Yeah, 5th or 6th.
5th. Okay. I'm just gonna take Korver, Curry, Ray Allen, and James Harden. I just want those guys shooting 10 3-pointers. That's all I want. I am 100% confident that Steph, Ray, and Korver are hitting at least 9. I'm not confident in Harden making even 7.
I'd say he could make 7.
I mean,
I think he's a good shooter.
To me, so to be 4th,
he is a volume shooter. You're wrong. You're wrong about this, Taylor.
No.
Harden
is washed. He's not washed up, but he's washed up. His numbers make him look better than he really is.
Okay.
He's pampered up.
I don't know, dude. I think the 35 a game is pretty legit. I really do. The 35 and 10 is pretty good, man.
Well, his shooting numbers.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you talked about just like his numbers.
Oh no, his numbers are fantastic.
I want to know. We haven't talked about this for a little while because the season's actually going. We haven't done any like stuff like this. When healthy, who are your top? This is tough. Honestly, it's a tough order. Who's your top 5 in the league right now in order, 5 to 1, or 1 to 5? When healthy.
When healthy.
Mm-hmm. Say Kawhi's healthy, James Harden's healthy, AD, Steph, LeBron, KD. What's the order?
Let's draw some. Okay. Let me just. Do you have yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think I kind of do. It's tough.
Okay, I think I've got this.
Sure.
And this is right now. This is not.
This is if
Here we go.
they're all playing tonight, healthy.
Jokic
Top
number
5.
5.
Wow, I didn't expect that. I'm
Jokic
not gonna
number
lie.
5. What did you expect that? Higher or?
A little bit, maybe just outside 6, 7.
Okay, Jokic 5. This is where it gets crazy. LeBron 4. Durant 3.
Okay.
Giannis 2. And Steph 1.
No, Steph is the
He
best
is ridiculous
in the league.
right now. This is his best
he's
season
not
he's
the
ever
best
had.
in the league.
This is the best season he's ever had.
Yeah, I do.
And Klay Thompson is out. Realistically,
James Harden's not in your top 5.
absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? This year,
dude, James Harden's in my top 5.
this year,
Easy.
he's averaging like 24 points.
Only because he's choosing not to go for 36.
I haven't seen him play in 3 months because he's buffed a toenail or one, snap his neck in half or whatever.
I honestly, I wonder if his bad playing weight is like his early, how he came into such horrible shape. I wonder if that's honestly like causing him injuries or like.
Did you
if
see the
that's hurting
meme
him?
where we figured out the identity of his fat suit because in the last game Brooklyn played, he had on like his really puffy jacket. But I don't know. This year, I don't know because he's not playing.
Steph, Giannis, KD, LeBron, Jokic.
Only Jokic should have because Jokic is win the MVP. Jokic is the MVP this year.
There are a lot of really good players.
They are this year.
It's a tough list to make, and I'll give you mine in just a second.
In the most talented the NBA's ever been. Ever. By far. I would say by far.
Do you think, what about the 90s?
I can't think of...
I mean,
I can't think of 15
Michael,
guys who can
Scottie
average...
Pippen, Charles Barkley.
See, even Scotty,
Carl,
to me...
Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, who else am I missing? I know I'm missing.
Exactly.
some.
When you're talking about us, you can just go...
Yeah, but that's because they're playing every day.
Yeah.
No, the 90s. The 90s was pretty low.
Oh, the 90s was great. 90s was fantastic. There's no denying that.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna go my top 5. But I mean, you've got Jokic. Honestly, Embiid is up there.
I thought about him.
Russell Westbrook, Damian. There's
yeah.
a lot of players that we're leaving off of these lists.
Oh, yeah.
AD, when AD's healthy, and that's the thing.
I haven't seen it this year either. I have not.
But man, like last year in the playoffs, he was really good.
He was really good.
Even Doncic, he's great. So I'll give you my top 5. I think, dude, you're gonna hate this.
Is Tatum number 1?
No, sorry. Number 1.
Oh, you're going there. Okay.
Yeah, I'll start with number 1. It's easier for me to go number 1. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go James Harden. Cause think about okay. So what can Steph give you?
I just might not talk to you for the rest of the podcast.
Dude, cause what do you love about Steph? Tell me why he's the best player.
Why he's the best player?
Yeah.
Because he can still. His team's not very good this year. They've got some decent players like Wiggins, who's done really, really good this year. Draymond has actually done pretty good the second half of the season. But to me, his other roommates don't pop out. Kelly Oubre's been garbage this year. Yet they can still, and I get they're only in the play-in. I get that. Mm-hmm. But technically they're in the playoffs. They're the 8th seed, I believe. They are in the playoffs. If this was 2 years ago. That he can still control a game with crappy players. I really think his impact is far better than James Harden's isolation dribble to the cup, get fouled and put him in for 2. Or step back for 3. I'm sorry.
The reason I go with Harden is because I think...
Gosh, sorry.
You're good. I think he can score with, if not better than Curry.
Well, I mean,
they're
36-point average. That's pretty dang good.
They're pretty dang connected. I'm not gonna lie.
What was it? 40? How many? Remember, I think it was 2 years ago when he had 30 points for like 20 straight games.
Some crazy, some absurd number. And I think Steph. I think he makes his teammates better with what he does off ball. I think James Harden, I do think he makes his teammates better with what he does when he has the ball. So he does have the ball more than Steph. That's for sure.
Right.
But I think he can help his teammates. I think he's a better passer than Steph.
Okay, that's fair.
I think he runs the pick and roll really well. So that's why I gotta go when he's healthy and when he's playing well. I think James Harden might be the best in the league. He's one of the last guys I want to play. Number 2, I think this year I would go Steph as well. So they're pretty neck and neck. I really do think they are. So I'd go Harden, then Steph. Then I'd probably go... This is tough, dude. Giannis. I think I'd go Giannis. He's very impactful everywhere.
Right.
He's not the best shooter, but he's been getting better. But inside the paint, unstoppable. Uh-huh. Great defensively, great rebounder, great in transition. Should probably go Giannis at 3.
I'm pretty sure Westbrook is averaging more rebounds than Giannis. Guys, think about that. I just throw that out there really fast.
You might be right.
Just crazy.
It's crazy. I'll go LeBron at 4 because he's still on any given night he can take over. We know what LeBron can do. And number 5 is tough for me. No, it's KD. It's KD.
You left him off. Yeah, you got to put him down.
And then right behind him, I'd go with Kawhi.
See, I'm just not so impressed with Kawhi's career.
Well,
I'm sorry. And I looked at the thing.
Think about after the Raptors won and he had that season in Toronto, a lot of people said he might be the best in the NBA.
And I don't know why. I think that specific season, is the greatest we're ever going to see him at. I don't think he's ever going to progress past that. 26-point average. He did phenomenal in the playoffs. 30 in the playoffs. That was terrific. That was great. But I just don't see him ever being in the conversation for top 5 of all time. Which is kind of rude to say, even comparing that. But yeah, I wouldn't even put him top 10. When his career is full done, I don't think I'd even put him top 10. I'm just not. Okay. Defensively, maybe top 3 greatest defensive players all time. I don't know, but I'm just not super impressed with his hype. Maybe
I know we just haven't. I feel like we just haven't. I don't know, seen his best self. We haven't seen him play his best this year, as to what we know he can be. But he has been good. I think he's averaging 25 a game right now, which is pretty dang good. And he doesn't take a lot of shots. I think he's 50% from the field. Another one that's close is also Jokic. Embiid is close. Lillard's close. So Paul George, I'd go. So, all right, I got Harden, Steph, Giannis, LeBron, KD, then I'll go Kawhi, Jokic, Dame, Embiid, maybe Paul George.
Here's something that I'm not.
That's
impressed
crazy.
with.
Like those are a lot. I even forgot AD. Like I'd put AD. I'd probably put AD behind. I'd probably put him behind Jokic. So 8.
So
Anthony Davis is the 8th best player in the league.
Yeah,
and he's really.
And if he played in the '90s, what would he be? Top 5?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Well,
here's just something that doesn't really impress me with Kawhi. Is his lack of scoring. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say his lack of scoring to the extent of, obviously, scoring does not necessarily amount to how good of a player you are. Because let's take a look at Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady always puts up James Harden type
and
numbers.
I didn't even put Russell Westbrook in my top 10, and the dude's averaging a triple-double. And Brad Beal's averaging 33 a game.
That's what I'm saying.
Doncic.
The talent is so ridiculous.
Doncic is like 26, 8, and 7, like something like that. Brad Beal, Trae Young. I mean, Donovan Mitchell hasn't a great year. I mean, the NBA is so good right now. Tatum is unreal.
I mean, yeah, I think
Julius Randle, tremendous here. He's been great.
How deadly can the Knicks be? They just beat the Clippers.
They did.
How deadly can the Knicks be? I don't know what the heck.
They're winning the playoff series. They're winning the playoff series.
Oh, they are easy.
Yep.
I just want to know what their coach slipped them before the season started. I mean,
You don't have the ESPN app.
no, I don't like ESPN.
Oh, NBA? Do you have the NBA app? Oh,
I didn't know
look
the
at
NBA.
standings.
I didn't
Yeah.
play that picture.
What did Tibbs do? Yeah, so they're matched up against Atlanta. They're
Oh,
taking Atlanta
easy.
in 6 max.
I was gonna say max.
6 max.
I was gonna say max.
5, probably 5 or 6.
I could even see them sweeping.
Maybe.
I really could. The way they're playing right now,
I don't know if they're gonna have to sweep.
I don't
in
know
the
what the
playoff
heck
series.
they're doing. They're like,
like when did Reggie Bullock get?
right. He's been great.
He's been great.
It's pretty much the same roster as last season.
Mhm.
It's just they're winning, which is fine because I love Julius Randle. He's an identical match to Zach Randolph, except a little bit. Probably, I don't know. Zach Randolph is
Maybe a little better of a shooter.
Shooter-wise, oh yeah, absolutely. But like Randall's game is really hard not to love.
Yeah.
The way Julius Randle plays is really hard not to like his game. RJ Barrett's been great this year, which I'm glad because him and Zion played together at Duke and they were the dynamic duo.
Uh-huh.
And then his first year, he just
Wasn't too
didn't
good.
show up, and even his second year, like this is his second year. But
He's been pretty good this year.
he's been pretty good.
They're missing Mitchell Robinson too. What do you think they'll be
He's a
next year
decent
when
center.
Mitchell Robinson
He's a
will get back?
decent center.
I think he's very good. I think he could be Evan Turner like. Lead the league in blocks a year.
RJ Barrett.
Let the people.
They don't have a phenomenal. Derrick Rose has been great. Derrick Rose has been terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they don't have a phenomenal team like RJ Barrett, Reggie Bullock, like Jake mentioned, has been fantastic this year. Alec Burks has even had some pretty good games. Don't know much about Jared Harper. Unfortunately, I don't.
Has Taj Gibson done anything?
I don't think he has.
Nerlens Noel, is he playing?
Yeah,
Nerlens Noel has actually made himself a little bit of a year here.
That's not bad.
I mean, this is off the bench. What was he? 5'6" and
5-6 rebounds off the bench. That's not bad at all. Frank, I don't think Frank's ever going to have an NBA career. Sorry,
it's too bad.
It is.
He was like
Emmanuel quickly is probably one of the surprises of the year.
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah. He's been bouncing around in the rookie of the year conversation. He's had a phenomenal year. They're like, has New York finally found their point guard? I don't know if they found their point guard in him, but he's having a great year.
I don't know if he's my boss because I don't know if he could fire me, but like my supervisor at work, he I know he grew up or I don't know for how long, but I know he's from like the New Jersey area, so he's a big. He actually went to Fremont with us, but he's a big Knicks fan. So I'm always talking to him at work. Like yesterday, I was because Sunday they beat the Clippers, which was a big win for them because they're trying to keep home court advantage, and they're now
4th.
I just want to see how many games ahead. They're only half a game ahead of Atlanta, so every game's really counting. So,
Right.
And if you can get your home court advantage in the MSG, that's pretty good. But anyways, I was telling him, I was like, hey, you see any good games this weekend? And he's just like, dude, the Knicks are crazy good. So
They are.
it makes me happy.
I mean,
because the Knicks they're a big team.
Right.
Like
it's New York.
It's New York. There's a lot of New York Knicks fans out there, and they've suffered mightily.
And I think players. I think
it's cool to see the Knicks be good at basketball because they were good when Carmelo was there, but they were
made
I
any
didn't say
noise.
they were great.
Yeah. Now we're not saying they're great now,
They're
but if
it's
they
more
get
homegrown.
if
It's more
they
that
get
homegrown
right,
feel.
right, this is going to attract free agents. Free agents.
It is.
Free agents always want to play in New York.
Because
Always.
think about it, like if the biggest name is Julius Randle, they can get a free agent. Like if Julius Randle, if he's your second best player, that's not bad at all.
Right.
So I really do. I think they could get a free agent this year. I don't know if there's too many big names.
I mean, DeRozan wouldn't be bad there. He's a free agent. He's like the biggest one I can think of right now.
Is he? Isn't Kawhi?
Yeah, I don't think he's
I
leaving.
think he'll resign.
I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah, no. So it's good. I like to see these. I like to see these teams get better.
Yep.
So
I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of anything else that's happened, but I don't think there has been much.
Is Gordon Hayward injured? Is he out for the year?
I don't know. I'm not saying the year, but he's got a broken wrist, I think, or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
When he got it, he was out for 4 weeks. So he'll be back if they make the playoffs. But that's another team who's been really, really good this year. And that's a team to watch out for in the future. Free agents might want to start going there. However, they're paying some of their players a butt ton of money. Gordon Hayward. But,
Well, they're in the play-in against Indiana. Unless things change, which that actually looks like it's locked in.
oh, we did forget something. My Celtics are toast this year.
You're fine.
Jaylen
You
Brown.
don't need him.
Jaylen Brown's out for the
No,
season.
he's
He's out
good.
season in an
Is it
injury.
the injury that I told you about?
No, it was in his wrist. It was a torn ligament. in his
I
wrist.
told Taylor there was one game I was watching where he hobbled. off
Him
the
and
court.
Tatum
He was
clashed,
carried off
yeah.
the court. Yeah, it was the most fluke injury. Like your two best players, your two up and comers, just like run into each other, get all tangled up. So that was too bad. But
So I'm hoping Tatum can at least lead him to the playoffs. I don't think. Let's say they are the 7th seed. They're not beating Brooklyn. So fire Brad. Get a decent coach in the offseason. Kemba's finally starting to have some life. Way to pick it up now, buddy. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't think they were going to win this year anyway.
yeah,
But
just not as good a year as we were hoping for our teams. Was it?
I'm hoping they beat your Miami tonight though, because you're.
Are they
stupid.
playing again?
Yeah. I'm so sick and tired of Boston either getting a lead and blowing it, or this
Coming
year.
back.
Yeah, Boston's got to
Not
come back
quite
so
enough.
much this year, and they came back from 32 points down against the San Antonio Spurs. 32 points down. I watched the first quarter while door dashing. Quit. Gave up in the first quarter. I'm like, this is absolute garbage. I checked the halftime score, and I'm like, what
Dude,
the
I did the same
crap?
thing with the Jazz game yesterday.
And I ended up tuning in and watching the overtime. Or the overtime. And Tatum scored 60 points in a 32-point comeback. So if Tatum can play like that every game in the playoffs, let's go, baby. But that's not going to happen. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Our quick top fives. You guys are more than welcome to comment your guys' top fives. I like seeing your controversial. I love controversial topics in sports. It's fun. I mean, Jake and I are getting paid to do this. So I mean,
yeah,
it's about a penny a listen. So
We
we're
like
not
the
sort of,
engagement.
Jake and I are making bank off this. We could totally quit our jobs right now if we wanted to.
Go full time.
Go buy
That's
a
my dream.
$400,000 house. It's super easy to afford right now.
It's my dream is to make this my living.
We totally.
That'd be so dope.
It would be
It'd
super
be so
cool.
much fun.
It'd be so much fun. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and Go Knicks if you're a Knicks fan. Go Atlanta if you're an Atlanta fan. Just root for your team.
Yeah.